Admit it, you missed us. Anyways, it is the Mike Sasson Show, brand new. It's going to be such a hot show. I don't care how cold it is outside. You're going to have to wear sunscreen. It is the greatest thing that is on the internet. We just officially beat puppy dogs in like enjoying the fact that they get adopted. That's like the number one thing for a while. I love watching those videos. If you ever want to feel good about yourself, watch the videos of like puppies and dogs in the cars when they get adopted. And you're like, oh, that's so sweet. But now we've officially beat it. I talked to a bunch of scientists. Again, it's the Mike Sasson Show. You're listening to The River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com, where you get the best local music and the best talk. It's going to be an amazing show today. Again, we weren't on the air last week. The reason why is because Alex needed a break from you people. That's what it was. Aww. She clearly said, you know what? Our audience, they just need so much Alex that I needed a week to just decompress. And I'm like, Alex, you deserve it. You go down to New Orleans, you enjoy Bourbon Street, and you tell us all about it the next week. And guess what? That's what she's going to do.
Yep.
Alex Clemens right over there, renowned swimsuit model and world traveler, Alex Clemens, is right over there. And she's going to be telling you all about her trip down south. Also, she's going to be telling you about her trip to the hottest dance club in the city of Pittsburgh. Because you visited that as well, right?
Yeah, I did.
And also, I'm going to be talking about the fact that apparently I used to look a lot better. I had several people tell me that this week, so we're going to be talking about that. And also, we're bringing back Fresh Eyes.
Yep.
Because we don't have guests this week. But this week on Fresh Eyes, I brought out something that I've been waiting to show Alex. Typically, what I like to show Alex is something that in no way could exist in 2019.
Yep.
I found the band and the videos that in no way would be allowed on the air anymore.
Oh.
These were so popular. I have to reiterate, this was, again, one of the biggest bands of the 1980s. I'm talking about Motley Crue. This was a poster on Mike's room. Motley Crue was on the wall. That's how much Mike liked Motley Crue. Yeah, I can see that. But I showed her 3 videos, and so we'll get that in Fresh Eyes. Plus, this week on News and Notes, we're going to be talking about the fact that apparently a large percentage of the people that you work with are pleasuring themselves to get through the day. Also, in Hot Takes, I'm going to be telling you why the New England Patriots are just that damn good. But trust me, it's boring. Again, my name's Mike Sasson, and over there is first ballot Internet Radio Hall of Famer Alex Clemens, back from her vacation, wearing a hat.
Wearing a hat. I haven't taken off a hat in like 4 days.
What's with the hat? My brother came from Los Angeles during Christmas, wouldn't take off his black, ski cap. Then I see him in every picture. He's out in Los Angeles with the ski cap.
Okay, that's weird. That's weird because he's in Los Angeles.
But I think that's what you're supposed to wear if you're kind of like the cool kind of dude, is to wear the hat. Now, I'm sitting there. I'm walking into this studio. I get a shot for the first time in 2 weeks of the wonderful Alex Clemens. And one thing that I always love is when I look at your hair, but you're covering it up with the brown hat.
Not completely.
But
it does blend in very well with the green screen now.
Yeah.
Beep. It comforts me a lot. My dad makes fun of me because I'll wear mine because I go to work with them because I usually we sell them at the store. Yeah. So I typically wear them at work, especially in the winter. Mm-hmm. And I come home and I don't take it off all day. And my dad makes fun of me for wearing it around the house. And it's very comforting to my head. You should try it sometime. It's very soothing. It's almost like having a blanket wrapped around you at all times, but around your head.
But here's the difference between you and me. I am continuously warm.
Yes.
You are continuously cold.
Correct.
So the fact that I would have a hot thing on my head would probably make me uncomfortable.
I wore so many layers today.
I know.
It was insane. I have, well, not right now, but to work I had 2 pairs of socks. I had a pair of leggings and a pair of sweatpants over that. I had a long sleeve shirt, a crew neck, a hoodie, and then my jacket, a scarf, and then this hat here.
I wore a sweater and a coat.
Yeah, I was still a little chilly.
I know. It was
not like the top part of me was not very chilly, but my feet it's impossible to make them warm.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with my shoes. I got to get shoes that are clearly like insulated and stuff like that, because that's the one part.
Yeah.
My upper part, I would sit there and say, because of my chubbiness, is typically okay. The face, I can deal with that, especially with the beard now. I'm okay with that. But yeah, the feet have got to be the one thing that a little bit of an issue. But again, if you want to listen to this show, continue to listen to it. But if you want to listen to previous shows, remember, all you have to do is go on to SoundCloud, Google Play, or iTunes. Find The River's Edge, and you can find all of the old Mike Sasson Show. It's going to be an incredible show, as I talked about it.
You could binge us for like weeks.
You could. We're like up to show 3,000. We have more shows
I think
than
it's
like
close to that.
We have more shows than MASH. We're like up past Simpsons. We're a lot of shows. As I mentioned before, international swimsuit model. You have the pictures from New Orleans, and one of them was at the I guess the pool from your hotel in New Orleans, and you're enjoying a nice little like a leisurely kind of lay around the pool and stuff like that. So you got relaxed.
It was nice. It wasn't warm. That was the first night that we were there, and it was about like 60 or so that day, and that was probably the warmest day. But it was still like kind of rainy and cold during the day. But we went in the hot tub, so that was like the only way that we could do it. The pool was freezing.
I hear you.
And it was pretty freezing outside. I got out of the hot tub for 5 seconds to take that photo and then ran back in.
There you go.
But it was like 40 degrees the rest of the time, and I did not pack for that.
Oh,
I was hoping for a little bit of sunshine, just a little bit.
That stinks. But you'll be listening to more of that during Bar Thoughts and Experiences with Alex, where she'll be going over her trips to New Orleans. Now, one thing I want to bring up is if you ever follow Alex on Instagram, you get her adventures.
You really do.
Now, one place that I always there's a new club. It used to be Diesel.
Yeah.
Now it's called Foxtail, correct?
It is indeed.
And it like has weird shit on the walls. It has like weird like
very inappropriate neon signs.
Yeah, let's say like kiss me, fuck me, something of that nature, all that kind of stuff. I'm not making that up. It's
that's like pretty much. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what the sign says.
Yeah, and all this other kind of stuff. A lot of Steelers hang out there and stuff like that. It's like if you ever wanted to meet one of the Steelers, that's basically where you go.
I was thinking. I was like, I don't know. These are like very muscular dudes and like super tall. I feel like you could play some sport. Mm-hmm. But then it's one of those things where like people walk up to you and ask you if you play football. You know, I'm not gonna walk up to someone and ask them if they play football, and then they lie to me, and then this whole thing happens.
And you get married, and it turns out that they were just,
and they won't support my baby that I had with them.
They should just wear hats. They should just announce that they're members of a professional sports franchise.
Yeah, really. Or if they like walk into a bar, I feel like the DJ should be like, hey, we have so-and-so in the house tonight. Automatically you have to do that so that people know.
Speaking of that, all right, I don't know if I'm super famous. I want to do that. I bet you Juju would kind of like that. Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, he would
want everybody to like want him and stuff, like know he's there. But they were interviewing Sebastian Maniscalco, how you pronounce his name.
I don't know who that is.
He's a comedian. He has a new Netflix special. He's decently known, but he was making the rounds. And he was on Howard Stern.
Okay.
And he was talking about that he had a dinner with Jerry Seinfeld.
Mm-hmm.
And he talked about the fact that it was a lot of stress for him because, he's done well, but he doesn't have Jerry Seinfeld level money. Like, Jerry Seinfeld's practically almost at this point a billionaire.
Right.
He's doing well, but not billionaire Jerry well.
Right.
So Jerry Seinfeld says, hey, let's go out to dinner out in L.A. When I'm there. He picks the restaurant. He shows up. Jerry's there first. And Jerry's kind of ordering stuff. And, like at one of these restaurants, the bill could get pretty high pretty quick. So he's kind of worried. He's like, he doesn't want to be like, hey, Jerry, you're the billionaire. You should kind of pick this up. And he doesn't want to be like 50,
that's
50,
difficult.
all this kind of stuff.
But Jerry did ask him, so.
Okay, yes, but here's the move. And this is why I was talking about like getting announced at Foxtail. This is the move. And I'd never heard of this. And so at the end of the dinner, Sebastian eventually got like the nerve. He goes, what do you want to do? And Jerry just goes like, lays back, goes, oh no, it's all taken care of. But he's like, I never saw a check. I never saw anything. And he goes, no, what I do is, and this is like what super rich people do. My assistant calls up prior, makes the reservation, gives him the credit card number, tells him what percentage I'm going to tip, and then it's all taken care of.
Huh.
They never see the check, so there is no like arguing over what's going on or all of that kind of stuff. It's all taken care of. Now, first off, I would say if that was something, if Jerry did, I think he should announce that prior. But maybe he was a little bit like weirded out, like he didn't want the other person going, oh, okay, well then let's, $800 wine for everyone. But the thing is, that is if a guy went on a date with you and you're waiting for the check to come and you're like, oh, what's going on? And you're like, no, it's all taken care of. I think you'd be like, that's the move.
I want to do that move.
I'm just saying in general, like if you in terms of
that is the move. I really, really like that because it does really take I guess you could have stress like throughout the meal if you're like constantly thinking about the bill. But yeah, if you never see it and you never have to like fight over it, anything like that, yeah, that's totally the move. It's super laid back and you're just like, got it.
Yeah, it's all taken care of.
Because because when I will go on like a date or something, like a lot of times I will offer to pay or I'll just like literally give the person my credit card and not let them choose whether or not like we're splitting it or not. And even that, like I feel like it makes the other person feel bad, but I feel like if you never see the bill, then you wouldn't feel as bad about not paying for it.
Yeah. If there's no grab, there's no like, but I would say now, at what point would you bring it up? Because if you make it too early, maybe the other person, if they're a true scumbag, suddenly all of a sudden starts ordering everything off the menu.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't tell them until probably the end. And I'm just like, all right, you ready to go? And they're like, oh, we have to pay. And I'm like, no, it's all taken care of. But what if they think that I'm actually like dining and dashing and I just said that?
Well, I think the key would be you have to be like Jerry Seinfeld level famous to where it makes sense.
Damn it. So I can't do it now?
No, you'd have to get more level famous. You're getting there.
I also probably need an assistant. I really don't want to make a phone call.
See, here's my thing. I think like you're very close to your sister. Eventually, that's your sister's gig. Is she's your personal assistant when you become like big time internet radio celebrity.
That would be nice.
Yeah, and so you're just like, hey, Abby, call ahead to Taco Bell. Tell them this is that I'm tipping 30%. When I bring my date over, we don't even bring the check out. You just know it's me, because that's the other thing.
Also, I really want the wait staff to always use my name. Like I've been there a million times, like they know me. And I every time I go there, I spend a lot of money. They're like, "Oh, Mrs. Clements, let me get that for you."
I just thought of this right here. One of the things that has to show though, is you have to be so famous that when you walk in the place, they know it's you.
Well, also, if you walked in the place and you're like, hey, we have reservations for Seinfeld.
Yeah, but I mean, like, okay, I'm not trying to be whatever. Like, let's say you're, Robert Redford or you're Brad Pitt. There could be normal people, like, in Los Angeles named, like, Tony Seinfeld. I mean, it's not like, it's not like Zach Galifianakis.
Right.
Now, granted, you'd hope, but again, let's say, for instance, somehow, some way it leaks that Jerry Seinfeld's coming. Maybe you sit there and say, like, hey, maybe if I pretend like I'm Jerry Seinfeld, like, you have to be so famous that, okay, that's Jerry Seinfeld. I know that's Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
See, you could be like the head of a studio, but no one knows who the head of, like, Warner Brothers is. It's Joe Bag of Donuts.
Yeah.
Then you come in like, hey, I'm Joe Bag of Donuts. Like, no, I need to see your ID. I have no idea who Joe Bag of Donuts is.
Right.
So you have to be famous enough to where the people in the restaurant know, like, aha, that is Joe Bag of Donuts.
Yeah.
Which is, again, why it's the move.
Yes, definitely the move.
Now, getting back to Foxtail.
I didn't know if you were going back or not.
Okay. So, what made you want to visit the place?
I didn't. It's never really appealed to me. It really seems like...
Looks very crowded.
Yeah. It's definitely like every white girl's like Instagram fantasy, I think. Because like everyone wants to go and get a picture by one of those neon signs. That's like the thing to do.
Which is why they put them there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah. But I actually heard a funny story that like they sometimes have shows there, and sometimes they have under 21 shows, and there's like 13-year-olds that come in there, and the woman that like puts on the shows and stuff, she's like, I try and unplug like the neon signs, but like they're still there, and it's really awkward that these like 13-year-olds are seeing this sign that says like love me, fuck me, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, but anyways, I
had to be Jabroni Central.
Oh yeah. I didn't want to go there, but one of my friends from work and my sister were going, and I've been sick the whole last week, so I was like, maybe I should stay home, not do anything. But I was feeling a little bit better that night. And they really wanted me to go. And it was my friend's birthday the next day. So I gave in and
Did you gussy up?
Yeah. I mean, in my standards, I looked like a very, like, 90s adorable rocker chick. That was my look.
Okay. Was that what you were going for? I mean, was it like...
It just happened that way.
Okay. All right.
It's very easy when you have colored hair and a lot of 90s clothes.
Okay. How hard was it to get in?
It wasn't. We walked right in.
Really?
We also got there at 10:45, which, you know, if you go to any other bar, it's like kind of like crowded at that time, you know? No one there when we got there. It was happy hour when we got there at 10:45, and there was $3 well drinks. So if you guys want some cheap drinks, go to Foxtail before everyone gets there.
So really the party starts there at midnight.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because we waited for a while, and it was kind of like, it was nice because there wasn't a lot of people there, but there was like not enough people where you felt comfortable going on the dance floor. So I was like, this is kind of boring. And then 1,000 million people came. And we were even sitting with our friends in this like booth. They have like private booths on the side that you can have. And we were in there, or I guess standing there. And it was still like people still kept knocking into us. And they have a stage where you can go stand on these speakers and all these girls like dance up there. So we went up there to dance the one time, and I was afraid for my life. Like I was almost on the edge, and there's just like 50 million girls up here dancing. So like if someone pushed me the wrong way, just face first onto the ground or onto people, I guess. So it was terrifying. But it was so crowded. Like my sister literally had her drink in her hand. Some girl hit into the back of her so hard that she got her drink and it splashed in her eyes. And she was like, I literally have vodka in my eyes right now, and was like crying. And it was terrible. And there were so many drinks spilled on us the whole entire night. We just smelled like vodka whenever we left the place. Still fun.
Now, did any jabronis try to hit on you and your sister?
I already knew some jabronis. Yeah, like one of my friends from my freshman year of school was there.
Which school?
From Point Park.
Okay.
And was with a bunch of Point Park soccer player jabronis from other countries. They do exist in other countries.
Yeah, jabroni is a foreign word as well. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just in the United States.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they tried to hit on me. I think I pissed off some dude, and I don't even know what I did. He was like 21 from the Netherlands. Had a conversation with him, and then I was like, I'm gonna go get another drink. Came back. When I came back, he was like getting up and walking past me, and I was like, oh, are you coming to dance? And he was like, no, I'm leaving. I was like, oh, okay. I don't know if I offended you. What did I do?
See, I know you're not, I know you don't want to hear this, but at this point, I think your level of maturity does not you can't deal with 21-year-old jabroni dudes. You're a mature woman that needs mature, like, men, not like jabroni looking to hook up with foxtail people.
Yeah, and I was also like, so yes, I agree with that. I definitely cannot deal with people like that. But also I was like, first you're screaming at people, trying to talk to them. And then I was also trying to like make sure that everyone in my group was okay. Since my sister got vodka splashed in her eyes and things, I was like constantly looking around to make sure like no one was on the floor, like no one got pushed over, anything like that. If anything bad happened there, like I don't like to say that, but if anything bad happened there, it would be terrible. Because like you cannot get anywhere in that place. I tried to get a drink. It took me probably a half an hour to like walk to the bar.
Also, another part of that bar, which is weird, is they have very scantily clad bar-up girls. That's
great. That's the best part.
Would you have ever consider at maybe an earlier age being one of those girls?
No, I think I the only reason is not because of being scantily clad. It's because of having to deal with the crowds. They have to walk through that crowd with like a tray of Jell-O shots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
All right.
I did like they do bring out like big bottles of champagne and stuff like that.
Like the ones we talked about that are $70,000 kind of.
No. I just showed that video to someone the other day.
Okay.
But smaller bottles than that.
All right.
And there's like a dude that walks out, and then there's a girl on his shoulders holding the bottle. I was like, I could do that. I'm not scared at all because I don't have to walk through anyone.
There you go.
So
dream
job.
Okay, it's a duel. Yeah, you got to find a jack dude that's willing to do all that kind
Yeah.
of stuff. Now, I would sit there and say maybe in the younger years I would be perfect for that job, and I've just learned that because last week.
You just learned this.
So I found a picture from my football days. It was actually taken after we had just beaten William and Mary. It was a very special day because the fact that I went kind of far away for school, very rarely my entire family was able to go up and see me play.
Yeah.
William and Mary's a little bit closer to Pittsburgh, so they picked this day. So this was a day in which everybody from my family had come and see me play. And it was a big win. They were nationally ranked. We were nationally ranked. And so after the game, we took pictures. And it was when my brother Matt, who now actually is out in Los Angeles, who's like your age, he was in my arms. He was like maybe 4 years old or whatever like that.
It's very strange.
And I took a picture with him. And if you wanted to show the picture, I think I sent it to you.
Yep. It's there.
And so I put that up and I put, Throwback Thursday to a time when at Matt Sasson was small enough to carry, and I wore like sweet jumpsuits. By the way, I still have that coat. I found that coat somewhere in the bottom of the closet.
Makes sense, yeah.
Now the thing about it is, I thought it was nice, and I got a lot of compliments in terms of likes and all that other kind of good stuff on Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. But the same day, I had at least 3 people on that one day come up to me and be like, "Hey, Mike, was that you in that picture?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was."
Who the hell said that to you? Have they never seen your face?
I don't know. First off, they said, "Is that you?" And I went, "Yes." And they went, "Wow, holy crap. What the hell happened?" And I'm like, I don't think I look that terribly different other than the fact that obviously I was clean shaven at the time. But, I mean, the way that these people were talking about it, it was like, today I look like I got hit in the head with a freaking sledgehammer, and back then I was a GQ model. Now, granted, I was maybe a little bit more physically fit. I was 22 years old at the time. But, I mean, they made it sound like that, my God, Mike, you've let yourself go and stuff like that. I think I've held up over 20 years.
You literally look exactly the same.
Thank you.
Besides you having a beard and, I don't know. I think that's it. Besides you having a beard and, different hair.
Yeah.
You pretty much look exactly the same.
I have a little bit more gray in the hair than at that point when I was 22.
Yes. I mean, that's, know, what's going to happen.
Yeah. But, they were making it sound like I wanted, some verification. If you'd have said, Mike, you're right. You look completely different at that moment than you do. Because the way they were talking was like, holy crap.
No.
Now
if it didn't have this sort of old photo look to it,
mm-hmm.
and your brother wasn't a child, I would have been oh, that could have been a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't have I would have been completely convinced.
Well, the other part about that picture, which is a weird that I always think about it, is the day before I actually had 101 fever.
Aww.
And after the game, I felt like utter crap. Now, during the game and immediately afterwards, because of we win and my family being there, I felt okay. But at that moment, because I was so sick, I think I might have been the lowest weight that I had been in my entire college career. I think I weighed at, immediately after that game, I think I weighed in at 283, 84 pounds.
Yeah.
Normally, I played at 290, 295. But at that moment, I was actually sick. So it's weird how people were, but it just seemed like so many people were coming up to me going, "Wow, Mike, my dear God, what has happened to you?"
Maybe they're not saying that you don't look as good at age. Maybe they're just saying you look better sick.
Yes, I think that might be what they're saying. They're saying, "Mike, I think you should look into possibly getting a fever." And
all the time.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, yeah, cough on me. Go from there.
Yeah.
Have you ever had someone look at a picture from when you were younger and look at you and just be like, "Dear God, what has happened to you?"
Nope. Always the opposite.
Now it's, "Oh, you look better now?"
Yeah. It's always "Oh my God, I can't believe that's you because you were hideous."
Really?
They don't say that.
They don't say that.
But they laugh at the photo and they're like, "I can't even believe that's the same person." because you look so much different and so much stranger.
Oh.
So much more like a mouse.
There you go. So much. You felt you looked like a mouse when you
I
were...
always thought I looked like a mouse, especially when I was like between the ages of maybe like 9 and 12.
Every little girl looks like, kind of mousy at 9 to 12.
Yeah, and my teeth really didn't help at all. I had like really messed up teeth, and they made me I just looked like a mouse. And I also used to be I used to dance in the Russian Nutcracker, and every year you had to audition for your part, and every single year I was in it, I was a mouse. I think they were just like, she looks like one, we got to put her as
they were typecasting you as a mouse.
It was also like the worst dancers, pretty much, were mice.
Oh, see,
what are you going to do?
We're just digging up just painful memories. I apologize. But again,
I loved being a mouse.
Okay.
So.
But you didn't like being called a mouse.
No one ever called me a mouse.
You just felt mousy.
Yes, I thought I looked very mousy.
Okay.
My hair, everything.
That's one of the things about, like, if you were to sit there and how I felt I looked at that moment, I always felt that I looked too young. Like, I looked baby-faced.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think so.
Like, even if I shaved right now, and eventually, I've been thinking about this, eventually the whole beard look is going to go away.
Why?
Because it's fashion. It's just how it works.
No.
It's going to go away.
No.
It's going to go away.
No, I don't think so. I think it's like boobs.
No. I've been, like, if you look at pictures from the 70s, beards were big in the 70s.
And great.
Okay.
And they should have never gone away.
But in the 80s and 90s, they kind of went away. Now they're coming back.
And how terrible were the 80s and 90s?
Well,
such a sad time because there were no beards.
Yeah, beards were not huge. I think that's one of the reasons why mustaches were big in the 80s.
I do kind of wish that mustaches would make a little bit, I love beards and everything, but I do wish that mustaches, people didn't feel so creepy having them.
I think the key is the proper mustache. Tom Selleck should do a course like you see online. Steve Martin's doing a thing on comedy. Aaron Sorkin's doing a thing on screenwriting. Tom Selleck should discuss the art of the mustache.
I would wholeheartedly buy that, even not being able to grow a mustache.
Just so you could hand it to future boyfriends and being like, here's the deal. I'm not saying commit to it, but I'm saying maybe try it because it'll grow back. But I want you to watch this 90-minute course on proper Tom Selleck mustache.
See, here's the thing. I think that it's really nice to be able to go in between the two. I'm not sure if I would want a man who always had a mustache, but the being able to go in between having a beard and then just having a mustache. I think that's a really nice thing. It's a nice accomplishment.
But I will tell you this: when I
what would Tom Selleck look like with a beard? I can't even picture it. Can you picture it?
Yeah, I'm picturing it right now.
I can't picture it.
Google, I bet you it exists.
Oh my God. It's going to blow my mind.
Tom Selleck with beard. Yeah, go ahead.
Tom Selleck beard. What were you going to say while I'm typing this?
When I shave it in my beard, eventually I will look like a 12-year-old boy. I will have rosy red cheeks. I will look like a 12-year-old boy.
It does. Oh my God.
It exists. I bet
Tom Selleck as a child. As a younger man, oof, damn.
Yeah, he's 70-something. He's been around for a while.
Pretty.
He played hoops.
Shit.
He played hoops at Michigan State. He was a pretty good athlete.
Oh, it's not good.
What, are we looking at beard?
Oh, it's not good.
Yeah.
He's destined to have a mustache. I wonder how do you figure that out though? Who's the person who tells you Tom, listen. Oh God.
An agent.
It's bad.
He looks average.
It's bad.
Mustache, he's Magnum PI.
Okay, the only good picture of him with a beard. Well, I mean, there might be more, but this one he's like a little cowboy.
Well, because he's a cowboy at that point.
Yeah, I think it's the hat maybe that does it.
Yeah. That's when he did that movie Quigley Down Under or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
It's not a movie you need to watch. But It's Tom Selleck with a beard.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Tom, what do you think Tom Selleck looks completely nude facial hair?
You saw it in Friends, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but I don't remember. But this is little tiny Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
In high school or something.
Yeah, he was
so cute.
Yeah, he was a heck of an athlete.
is a good-looking dude. How do you get his genes? Do you think that he could still have a child with me?
Yes. Because he's like, dudes, like, Tom, what's his name? Mick Jagger just had a kid. He's like 70-something.
Right, and Tom Selleck's...
is the G-Dilf. You said already, he's the King G-Dilf.
Yeah, let's see what his stats are.
Is he still married?
Oops. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah,
and his exact age, because I think he's
72 or something.
73.
Ooh, okay. But
he is not married. He has gotten divorced twice.
Okay. How old is...
Oh, wait, I lied. Sorry, he is married.
How
long? There's no ending date to this. Since 1987.
Oh, okay. So that's got to be winding down at this point.
You think?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Maybe.
Make a plea. You got a camera in front of you.
One day. Hey, Tom Selleck, can you have a baby with me so that my baby can have a beautiful mustache for his entire life?
It has to be a male baby. What happens if it's a female baby? You're not going to go all Chinese on him. And
he does have a son. Did you know that?
He's 70-something years old.
Kevin Selleck.
Check out Kevin Selleck.
He's 53 years old.
Of course he is. Okay, check out Kevin Selleck.
Doesn't look like it's Tom Selleck's son.
Can you imagine how much that should piss you off if your dad's freaking Tom Selleck and you don't get any of that look?
Oh, you know what? I think he's on that. He might be on Blue Bloods with him.
Well, check it out. I want to see him. What's his?
His name's Kevin Selleck. It says he's an actor.
Okay. Do something different if you're freaking Tom Selleck.
Why?
Unless you're like something unique to the table. I mean, Kevin Selleck's been in acting for 30 years, and the only role he can get is on his dad's TV show. I mean, it might be time to, maybe look into some other profession.
He was in Magnum P.I. as...
Of course he was. He was in his
the grandson. And then he was in...
3 Men and a Baby.
And then he was in Scream 2. And that's it.
God damn it.
I don't know what he does now.
He basically tries to get laid by telling people he's Tom Selleck's kid. Would you go with Tom Selleck's son to maybe get genes that way?
No, because he doesn't have I don't know if he has the possibility to grow a mustache, but he is very clean shaven.
That's the problem. I bet she's like, there's no way I could ever top my dad's mustache.
Yeah, that's probably why he quit acting. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? He doesn't have a mustache. What's his point?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Another point that we're going to have is we're going to move on to Bar Thoughts and Experiences, where Alex will recap her brilliant, wonderful vacation to the Big Easy, a.k.a. New Orleans, where I'm sure she caught Saints fever.
Yeah. Oh, were you waiting for me to answer? Yeah.
Yeah, who dat?
Who dat?
Who day? I don't know
I
which
don't
one.
get that.
I don't know
okay.
what one of them is. New Orleans Saints. Anyways, they lost. Who cares? Anyways, so coming up, it's Bar Thoughts and Experiences. You're listening to The Mike Sasson Show on The River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com. We'll be right back. I think that might have been the first song, Alex. Alex isn't into death metal.
I am not. I am very much not into it.
That first song we played today was almost like a doo-wop song. The first off.
It was it's from the Neon Swing Experience. I'm pretty sure this is from Grey Walker. Yeah, I can't do.
I love metal. I mean, again, we're going to be talking about Motley Crue later on, but I will tell you that what's the swing band that was first?
Neon Swing Experience.
That'd be the type of thing that, like, on a second date, you show a girl that you're kind of cool by taking her to that and maybe doing a little dance and stuff like that. Like in Swingers, when the guy, Jon Favreau, knew how to do, like, the jitterbug or whatever with the woman. To
me, that's like fourth date. I need to be pretty comfortable with you.
You're saying don't dance on the second date?
Yeah.
What's a good first date?
Just drinks.
Drinks? Tacos?
Maybe if I really like you, but we're just getting drinks first.
Okay, but is even that a date if not a meal is consumed?
Yes. My mom asked me, I was supposed to go on a date the other day, and I came home, and my mom was like, oh, I thought you were going on the date, so I didn't save you any dinner. I was like, Mom, I don't eat food with men. And she didn't care.
Why do you not eat food in front of men?
I just don't like to get food on the first date. I don't like it.
Do you think that you're unattractive when you eat food?
No, it's just that like when we have to like it's the whole bill thing. I don't like that. Like I want to be somewhat comfortable with you. Drinks is a little less, intimidating.
What is your opinion on coffee dates?
No, ever, never, ever, unless I hate the person.
Yeah.
Or I really am like trying to like get them to not like me.
I'll be completely honest with you. There are certain times where I've been on a date with a woman, and if she's like shoveling the food down, I start out with like, oh, she's a very, healthy woman. I like this. But then if there's certain points where it's just not attractive. Yeah. And I'm not saying I'm not judging because obviously I'm not attractive in terms of food. One time I got a pizza with a woman and she like at the end of the meal, I like was, okay, well, let's get up. And she sat there. She goes, you had 8 slices of pizza. And I was just like, oh, how many did you want? She goes, no, I had as many as I wanted, but you had 8 slices of pizza.
Why did she count your slices? That's weird.
I don't know. She was trying to tell me, I guess she was trying to tell me you wouldn't be this big if you didn't eat 8 slices of pizza. But the only reason I ate 8 slices of pizza is because I got a pizza and she had like 2 slices and there were like 8 left. And I didn't want to like carry around pizza all day. And I'm not wasting pizza. So I had to consume the rest of the pizza.
See, I just also I talk a lot, especially on first dates, and especially if the other person doesn't talk at all. I talk a lot, and which leads me to not really eat a lot of my meal, and I don't like that. If I want to go out and eat, I really want to enjoy my meal and be able to actually eat.
Let me ask you, okay, for a dude, rank these in terms of your least don't do that. Salad.
Okay, I'm going to do it from 1 to 5. 5 is good, 1 is terrible.
Salad.
If they get it.
Just that's their meal, salad.
4. That doesn't really bother me.
Really? You're not thinking a little bit of a pansy?
No.
Okay, steak.
5.
That's the king.
Yeah.
Fish.
I don't, maybe a 3.
You're saying a little
It's kind of iffy. They could really go either way on their personality.
Burger,
I'd say probably a 5. It's a good choice. Pizza, probably 2.
Really? Why is that?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of pizza, and also, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of people who get pizza at restaurants all the time.
Chicken wings.
Chicken wings on a first date?
Yeah.
No.
Too messy?
1. Yeah, don't do that.
Hoagie?
I don't know where we're going that you're getting a hoagie.
I don't know. Maybe it's a high-end hoagie place.
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe
I guess maybe
po' boy, as we're speaking about New Orleans.
Oh my God!
See,
yeah,
that's the greatest host in the history of the world.
That was really good.
Thank you. By the way, did you have a po' boy?
I had some bites of one.
Why wouldn't you have? I would. Last time I was in New Orleans, I literally consumed 2 or 3 seafood po' boys. Play the song and we'll discuss.
They're not my favorite thing.
Okay, go ahead. That's the wrong song.
Oops, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Because you aching for seafood po' boys.
I'm just thinking about po' boys now, and I'm just thinking about
You were in the king, the grasp of po' boy nation, and you didn't have po' boys.
Nope.
Did you even visit New Orleans? Maybe y'all can relate. Were you in Biloxi and lied?
No.
Okay. All right. So you visited New Orleans. Outside of the fact that you did not consume po' boys, what else did you do?
I had a couple bites of a po' boy. It's just that's too much bread for me. I don't. I like having one thing fried and then a fuck ton of bread around it. That's too much for me. I have to sleep immediately, and I want to enjoy my vacation.
Okay.
I had a poop ton of crab legs.
There you go.
I had the best burger I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
I feel like I say that a lot. But it was for realsies.
Okay. So you head down to New Orleans.
Yes.
You meeting up with ex-boyfriend, now friend.
Yes.
Okay. Where do you go first? Where'd you go? Did you go straight to Bourbon Street?
No, we went straight to a cemetery.
Okay, yeah, you're sick. All right, go ahead.
All their cemeteries are above ground, because flooding, they don't want the bones everywhere.
Yeah.
Also, did you know that Nicolas Cage has a burial plot in New Orleans? It's a giant pyramid.
That's the least shocking thing that I've ever heard in my life. I saw, when I was in California and Huntington Beach, I saw that Nick Cage had an island at one point. That was worth 80 gazillion billion zillion dollars.
And then he had
to sell it because he made shitty movies.
Yeah, and also, yeah, lots of things.
Where do you want to be buried?
I don't think that I want to be buried.
Do you want to be like shot in the sky and made into a firework or something?
I don't like fireworks.
Okay.
Either planted into a tree, because that's a thing.
Okay.
Or cremated, because that's easier.
Where are we throwing
I don't
the
take
ashes?
up space in the world.
Where are we throwing the ashes?
Somewhere really pretty.
Okay.
Like next to a tree or like a waterfall.
Where is the waterfall and tree?
I think I want to be. Well, it depends on if I go to Ireland before I die. That's probably where I'm gonna want them.
Why? You've been there never. Go where you've been.
That's what I'm saying. If I go there before I die, then I'd like them.
That's
there.
a lot of pressure on Ireland to be like the place where you'll eternally be.
No.
What if you just show up and you're like, it's green, who cares?
Well, yeah. I mean, if I don't like it,
okay,
and then I wouldn't choose that as the place to be.
All right. So New Orleans, Nick Cage, Pyramid. Where else did you go?
We went to the Museum of Death. It was super gory.
Yeah, it's the museum.
If you're squeamish at all, oh my God, never go there.
What were some of the exhibitions at the Seafood at Death, or the Seafood at Death? I'm thinking about po' boys.
There was this one. There was a lot of like serial killer stuff, but then they also went through like the funeral process and everything like that, and embalming bodies. There was these group of pictures that was basically them taking the brain out of someone, and they had to take the face off first. Oh, it was gross. And then they had like a theater in the back where they just showed like ridiculous clips of people dying in crazy ways.
Like, what was the craziest?
I think they showed Evel Knievel.
He's not. He didn't. He died like in his sleep.
Oh, I don't know.
But then he like crushed him.
Yeah. Okay, then it was someone doing a little crazy bike trick and then like falling to their death really, really far. And there was this picture of this girl who like shot herself like underneath the chin with a shotgun, and it showed like the top of her head basically blown off in a bathtub. Well, there's a lot of really gory things.
When did you get to Bourbon Street in Beads?
We did that afterwards. After we went to the Museum of Death, we got some drinks and stuff, and then we went there later that night. But basically the big experience was... So on Sunday night, is the day after we got there, we went out drinking, and we had drank a lot already before we left the hotel. And we went out drinking, we went to a couple bars and stuff, and then we found this karaoke bar. And me and Zach have always wanted to get fake engaged in order to get free drinks.
Okay.
And we had drank enough at this point, more than other nights, that we were like, let's do it. Mm-hmm. Like, this is perfect place, karaoke bar, perfect place. So he's like, I know the exact song I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing the song, and then I'm going to propose to you on stage. I was like, let's do it.
Okay.
So he like talked to the people who were running the karaoke, and they were all for it. Like, they were so excited. And I had to act like I had no idea what was going on. And so I'm just like standing in the crowd dancing and stuff. And then finally he goes on stage. They hand him the microphone and then get me up on stage. And they're like, here, like, why don't you sit on the side so you can take a video of him singing? Okay. So he starts singing and stuff like that. And then he comes over to me and like fake proposes. And
did he have a fake ring?
I had rings on at the time, so I just gave him one of the ones that I was wearing.
Okay.
And had a ring and everything. I actually have photos from it. There's like a really long video, and he's singing so terribly, and I'm also singing in the background really badly. Mm-hmm. But like the photos from it, I keep going and taking screenshots of this video for like different uses. And these pictures that I'm showing now, there's literally this guy in the background who's just like, what's happening right now? And he's so excited. And then there's a guy taking a video of us. And he's definitely taking a video because it's in multiple photos. Mm-hmm. And it worked out really, really, really well.
How many drinks do you think that you did not have to pay for because of that?
I don't know if I could count. It was a decent amount. We got to, like, some shots and stuff, and then got like actual drinks. The thing that I didn't feel bad about it, like getting free drinks, until this one woman, like this couple came up to us, and this woman was so excited for us. She was like screaming in my ear. She was like, I don't know how you did that. Like, I would have freaked out so much. And like, I think I played it off pretty well. If you see the video, like I'm like kind of like very emotional and like trying to look surprised and stuff like that. And she was like, how did you get him to do it? And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, I cannot get my boyfriend to propose to me. And I was like, oh, I don't know what to tell you there. And you could tell that like her only dream in life was to like get engaged and get married. And they bought us drinks, but I felt kind of bad for the woman. It's like, I don't. You can just ask him to propose to you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm sure that you guys have probably talked about marriage. Like, do you want me to try and convince him?
Yeah, the boyfriend wanted to propose to you. That was what happened.
Yeah, definitely. And then we went to a strip club afterwards.
What kind
to celebrate the engagement.
What did you think of the strip club?
Boring. It was right on Bourbon Street. There was 2 other people there besides me. And it was, we like sat farther back from the stage and like you had to buy 1 drink.
Yeah.
And then that was it.
Here's the thing about Bourbon Street, though, is that there's free nudity anywhere. Why do you need this?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think that a strip club on Bourbon Street is really where the money's at because, you can see boobs anywhere.
Did you throw any beads and get girls to show you boobs?
No, and no one threw any beads at me. No one asked me. I was pretty upset. I was like, I'm just going to go down the street and show anyone just because.
Would you have shown if someone would have beaded you?
Yeah, that's the whole part of being in New Orleans. I was very upset.
Is this what the hell's going on?
I was in
New Orleans, legitimately, that was like 3 nights for me.
Yeah.
Was just throwing beads and seeing boobs. What the hell? Did like the freaking religious right take over the town? What the hell's going on?
I don't know. And there was a decent amount of, I think there's too many like sports people, not enough party people.
Because of the New Orleans Saints football game.
Yeah, and I got about 6,000 people asking me if I had Flyers hair. Not Flyers hair. I'm so sorry. Eagles hair. Same terrible place. I had people ask me if I had Eagles hair, and I was like, don't you think like it's the weekends that you guys play? If I had hair that was specifically dyed for the Eagles, you don't think I'd be wearing like a jersey or something else to like support them other than just dyeing my hair? Like, why are you coming up to me and asking me that?
How pissed were you leaving one of the football mad cities of the world, the fact that your day job requires you to be just marinated in football, and you go right into a town that believes that it's a game or 2 away from winning the Super Bowl?
Yeah, it was a little bit depressing, but you know what? They weren't like really shove it in your face people though. Like the day after, like we went out and like got dinner and stuff like that, and there was no one like crazy or anything like that. And even like the Eagles and like Saints people like walking on the street together, totally fine. I didn't see any fights or anything.
How many hurricanes did you have?
I didn't have any. I tasted some, but that would make me die.
Okay.
I can't have that much sugar.
Did you have what's the other big thing?
A grenade.
The grenade? But in terms of food, the powdered sugar thing?
Oh, no. What's that?
I don't know. There's like a bunch of, like, did you go to any like high-end, like Emery?
A beignet? Is that what you mean?
It's like a giant, like, it's like covered in powdered sugar. I had one of them and I'm like, this sucks.
They're like a donut. Yeah, I didn't have any. I didn't have vegetables for like 2 days.
Okay.
And if I don't have vegetables for like 2 days, I feel like my body's shutting down. So I didn't want any donuts.
Overall, what would you say about New Orleans?
I would say it's very dirty, and there's so many more homeless people there than I even expected. But great place to have a fun time.
I was thinking that I would say the same thing. I was there for a week about 6 months before Katrina. And so when Katrina happened, they're like, oh, the devastation of New Orleans. I think 90% of that stuff was there anyway. They just blamed it on Katrina.
Yeah.
It wasn't exact. And like legitimately the cops were coming up to us and be like, all right, here's the deal. You're cool for this street. If you go 2 blocks down, you're going to die and it's on you. Like that's how bad the city is. But I would say that it is one of those cities in America that if you want to sit there and say, I experienced America, you had to have walked down Bourbon Street and gotten shit-faced drunk.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. And, you know, people always tell me, like, oh, you know, you only need, like, a couple days there and you get it.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, no, like, I'm sure that I could stay there longer. They're right.
Yeah,
They're definitely right.
It's essentially the South Side on a Saturday night, but every night.
Once you're so hungover, like, once it's, like, days of, like, drinking like that, and once you're so hungover, like, even making eye contact with anyone on that street, you want to, like, punch everyone.
Yeah. It's definitely a day. You go there for, like, 2-3 days, and you're like, I get it. Everyone just pretty much lets you drink outside.
Yeah, it's great. You can take a drink down the street. Cool.
There you go.
You did it.
Awesome.
There was also a bar across the street from our hotel that was open 24/7, and they played live music almost 24/7.
I will say that's one cool thing about New Orleans. Lots of cool live music.
That's very true. I agree.
Yeah. Now, I would say that sounded like you had a great time, but you would say 2 to 3 days max, you get the point.
Yeah, you get the point, unless you want to. I don't know what else is there.
You have to have major league dough to like go to all the restaurants because eventually they get a little pricey.
Yeah, I would think so, but go to this one burger place that I have no idea what the name of it is.
That's
so good.
That's a ringing endorsement. There you go. All right, thank you very much, Alex.
Oh, you're welcome.
Anyways, that was Bar Thoughts and Experiences. Great for her trip to New Orleans. Now it is my turn. It is Hot Takes. Play my song. So, yesterday, the New England Patriots won in Kansas City in overtime. They're going to another Super Bowl. Tom Brady's been to 9 Super Bowls. It's incredible. As much as of a Steeler fan I am, and I cheered so loud when the Steelers beat the Patriots earlier this year. I was at the game. You got to tip the cap to them. And so I was thinking about it. What made the New England Patriots so damn good? And they're a great example in life. If you want to be great, you got to become great at the boring shit.
Yeah.
That's the thing about the New England Patriots, which is why they're so annoying, is because no one else seems to want to become great at the boring shit. Like, for instance, late in the game, the Patriots are driving. Tom Brady throws a pass, tips off Gronk's hands, goes into the arms of a Kansas City defender. Holy crap, Kansas City's going to the Super Bowl. What happened? One of the defensive linemen for the Kansas City Chiefs lined up offsides. My brother calls me up and goes, Mike, who again, this is the one who's the head coach, who's the coach at Pine Richland. He sits there and goes, Mike, that is day one. I go, Tim, that is day one middle school. That is something that I taught kids who were 12 years old how to stay on sides as a defensive lineman. But that's the difference between every other team. Every other team is worried about big things.
Yeah.
Don't be worried about big things. Big things happen when you take care of little things. Become the champion of the boring stuff. Become the champion of you always call back. Become the champion of you always text back. Become the champion of you're always on time. You're an employer. You work at those are the people that you stick with. The people who are the champion of the boring shit.
I think it's T.I. He really ruined everything with. I think it's T.I.
What?
That song, "Big Things Poppin'." You know.
Maybe everybody sits there and thinking, hey, if I want to get popping, I got to be the big things.
Yeah.
No, become the champion of the boring stuff.
Thanks, T.I.
There you go. Anyways, moving on. Big news this weekend. A bunch of kids from Covington Catholic High School, Coventry Catholic, whatever, one of those schools, in northern Kentucky, which is near Cincinnati. There's a video, and people were saying that the people look racist, and they were standing in front of an indigenous person, and everybody went, oh, these kids are terrible, and they were wearing Trump hats and all this kind of stuff. Then right-wing blogs and right-wing said, no, look at the whole video. This is what actually happened. They were getting yelled at by black Israelites, and they were actually, very calm and all this kind of stuff. Here's my hot take. Whatever you want to see in that video, you're going to see.
Yeah.
If you hate Trump and think he's a scumbag and think these kids are racist, uppity, white pieces of shit, guess what? You're going to see it in that video. If you're sitting there saying that these kids were actually under control and that the media was out of control, guess what? You'll see in that video, which is why right now I'm so sad for this country. People will look at the same damn video and see two different things. There's no such thing as the truth anymore. It just is whatever you want to believe, whatever video you want to see, however you want to see it, you kind of go from there. So that's my hot take. However you wanted to see the video, that's how you'll see the video. This weekend, big joke. Everyone was predicting that Pittsburgh was going to become like the ice planet of Hoth. They thought that there was going to be 12 feet of snow. Turns out on Saturday night, essentially it just rained.
Yeah, like all day on Saturday.
Yeah, it was a normal, stupid day in Pittsburgh. It was just rainy, stupid day.
Yeah.
And it brings back a joke that I have, but again, it was people were incensed.
Yeah.
People were more upset by the fact that weathermen got this wrong than that the fact that, like, people don't have health care. People were so incredibly incensed, and it comes back to why this is such a big deal. Like, people make fun of, like, oh, why are people so with the weathermen? Because weathermen really can affect your life. We're not going to the store today. We've canceled this. We've canceled this show. We've canceled this because there's supposed to be 80 feet of snow. And when there's not 80 feet of snow, it's like, what the hell's going on here? So again, that's why a great example of why weathermen are so important in the city, because when that happened and in the ice planet of Hoth from Empire Strikes Back didn't happen, everybody got incensed. Big news.
Ooh.
Actually today, we're recording on Monday. Louis C.K. is coming to Pittsburgh this weekend.
What?
He is going to be performing 3 shows for 2 days at the Pittsburgh Improv.
What?
Louis C.K. is going to be performing 2 shows at the Pittsburgh Improv. Now,
what?
The thing that gets me is there's a lot of comedians that are hammering the improv, and the improv deserves it. A lot of people are sitting there on the other side going, no, this is, he deserves to perform, all this other kind of stuff. And here's my take. The thing that's most sad is the fact that right now, this guy, we saw him at his last time he was in Pittsburgh at the Peterson Event Center. 8,000 people were at that show.
Right.
He's just become lame.
Yeah. Now, how many people does the improv hold?
Maybe like 300.
Yeah.
So in total, if he sells out all 3 shows, he'll maybe get 1,000 people.
And tickets were expensive.
Yeah.
For that Louis C.K. show.
And the thing about it, it brings back a quote about the entertainment industry. Steve Martin sat there and he wrote in his book, everything in the entertainment industry is either about to become or is already old-fashioned.
Yeah.
And Louis C.K. and his act and his everything, he's just become played.
I really never thought that would happen with him either. Like,
Even
I really, not never, but like at least for a long time.
And
I didn't think it would
regardless
happen.
of the awful things he did.
Yeah.
If you listen to his act, you're like sitting there going, it's just average. It's just, you sound like every other guy that goes, you're, again, not saying you're not funny, but you used to be the cutting edge.
Right.
You were the best of the best.
Yeah.
Now you're just another comic.
Yeah.
And it's just, again, it's just the biggest, it's just, forget about the fact that, again, he did some horrible things and he doesn't seem to be saying he's sorry for it very well.
Nope.
But, again, it's just like you're a comic doing the improv on a weekend. Cheers.
That's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah.
I wonder if those will sell out. Like, I wonder how well those shows will do.
Again, if you're only looking for 900 people, there'll be 900 some odd people that'll want to see him.
Yeah.
I think. But again, we saw him in an arena.
Yeah.
8,000 people. They fit where Pitt plays.
Yeah.
And when we saw that, I was sitting there going, I'm watching the best in the world.
And he probably could have been in a bigger place than that whenever we saw him.
Well, in Pittsburgh, he actually wasn't as big. Like, he played Madison Square Garden.
Right.
He played, now granted, they'll sit there and be like, Mike, these are just warm-up gigs. He ain't playing Madison Square Garden.
No.
Yeah, he ain't playing the Forum. It's just old-fashioned. It's legitimately, it just shows. And also the fact that, like, I've talked to this with New York comics. He's honestly he's hurt the Cellar. Like, the Cellar used to be, like, the height of comedy coolness.
Yeah.
But now they allowed him in. And it's just like, yeah.
Now, anytime you go there, you're automatically, like, associated with him.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of lame. Anyways, so there you go with that. We'll just end with that one. That was Hot Takes. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, a very special, for me at least, Fresh Eyes, where I had Alex watch 3. I could have Alex watch every Motley Crue video. I think they're fabulous. But I have Alex watch 3 of the most unique and impactful Motley Crue videos. I had her watch Looks That Kill, Home Sweet Home, and the famous Girls, Girls, Girls. It's right after this. It's the Mike Sasson Show on the River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com. We'll be right back.
I'm talking to nobody, no one's on the other line. Got to tell you, honey, I'm losing my mind. Foolish words spilled the other night. Got to tell you, honey, everything is alright. Easy you.
Again, you're listening to The River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com. And again, if you want to listen to any of the other unbelievable podcasts that we have here on The River's Edge, like The Mike Sasson Show, like Road Dad Business, like Sean Collier's new movie podcast with Aaron Kleiber called The Number Ones, or you can watch Ya Jag Off or listen to Ya Jag Off. It's unbelievable, all of the great podcasts that are here now on The River's Edge. Again, so you can watch that and listen to them on either SoundCloud, iTunes, or Google Play. My name is Mike Sasson. This is The Mike Sasson Show. Over there is the greatest producer in the history of internet radio, Alex Clemens. She's wearing a hat, and she watched Motley Crue videos. And because of that, she gets to play a song I'm not a huge fan of. It's Fresh Eyes. Play the song.
There's no love like a country girl with money.
Now, I've been waiting to kind of go here because the point of Fresh Eyes is to show Alex a video or a clip from that can't exist anymore, but it did at one time. And this band in particular, at one point, really was kind of the standard for hair metal. The most outrageous band maybe ever. They have a movie that's coming out in a month or so on Netflix based upon their best-selling autobiography called The Dirt. It is the most notorious band in the history of music, Motley Crue. Show the picture. That's one of the early pictures of Motley Crue. Motley Crue again is, and now remember this. This is straight from memory. I don't have this written down. Vince Neil, Nikki Sixx, Mick Mars, and Tommy Lee, which is one of the cool things. I want to watch this. Nikki Sixx, that's not his real name, but his son just...
What? That's not his real name?
But here's the weird part about it. His son just got into USC, and on Instagram, I follow Nikki Sixx. He took a picture of his kid's, acceptance letter, and his name's, Scott Six.
Oh, that's sweet.
So he took his dad's, fake name.
You can do whatever you want.
Now, let me ask you
Names
a question.
don't mean anything.
If your dad, Alan Clemens, named it, all right, I'm going to be Alan Six, would you be Alex Six?
Yeah.
So you'd be like, I'm taking the sweet, cool
That
name.
sounds cool, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, mostly because, everyone knows him as that, too.
Yeah.
You want to be known as his son, and if you take his actual name, no one's going to know that you're his son.
Here's how much that I'm such a fan and so of the attitude of Motley Crue. A buddy of mine, remember back in the day when they would have wristbands of what would Jesus do, WWJD. Yep. Well, a buddy of mine made up those wristbands that would say, what would Nikki Sixx do?
Oh.
So in any situation, what would Nikki Sixx do? What would he do? Cook up some heroin, shoot it up, have sex with a Playboy Playmate, and get to the show anyway.
Is that what you did then?
Yes.
Whenever you had a problem?
Yeah, I was just what would Nikki Sixx do? Cook up some heroin and shoot it in there. All of them got in trouble with the law. Vince Neil, the lead singer, actually killed a guy. He had vehicular manslaughter, and he just bought his way out. Tommy Lee was part of the first sex tape of all time, pretty much, with Pamela Anderson, and then eventually got in trouble for domestic violence. This is one of the just over-the-top bands in the history of over-the-top bands. They're pretty much if Kiss, Van Halen, and punk rock basically had a satanic baby. And that's essentially what Motley Crue is.
They're every single one of their outfits that they're wearing in this photo here looks like what I wore every day in high school when I was a little tiny emo kid.
Yes.
That's exactly what that looks like. Very feminine.
Now, the other thing about Motley Crue, which was interesting, is they almost became famous and became one of the biggest bands in the world, almost instantaneous. Their first album, which sold millions of copies, was pretty much a demo. They were signed a year after forming as a band. Like they were like almost immediately, and then like they were formed.
That's not fair.
They were formed in 1981. By 1983, they were on MTV selling millions of albums.
It seems like that probably went straight to their heads.
Well, that's maybe why they pretty much shot heroin and almost killed themselves.
Yeah, probably, and why they look like this.
Yes. Anyway, so
Did they look like this when they started?
that early band, that photo in black and white,
Yeah.
was legitimately, they said, about a month or two after they formed.
Damn it.
What do you mean, damn it?
I don't know. I just assumed that like they got like this from becoming famous so fast, but really they were just always terrible.
Yes. So again, I had you watch 3 videos, and
Yeah.
again, I could have had you watch like 50 videos from these guys. They're all like huge time capsules of 80s awesomeness.
Yeah.
But the 3 that I wanted you to watch were the most impactful. Looks That Kill, which, let's be honest, was one of the weirdest videos in the history of MTV, but it made tons of money. Home Sweet Home, which is one of the most impactful, pretty much invented the power ballad. And then Girls, 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 just because it was a video that, again, the definition of could not be done in 2019 was Girls, Girls, Girls. Let's talk out with Looks That Kill. Now,
okay.
normally when I look for these videos, I look for some behind the scenes. Well, I
You
saw
look for bands that are all the exact same.
Yeah.
That literally could be the exact same people.
Yes.
And look exactly the same and dress exactly the same and all their hair is the same.
Yes.
And
They had a look.
basically sing the same exact songs,
They-
just have different band names.
Yes.
Is that what you look for?
That's exactly what I look
Okay.
for. Anyway, so this first video, their concept was, A, they do a lot of cocaine, but B, it's a post-apocalyptic, I said that poorly,
Apocalyptic?
post-apocalyptic world in which they're like with fire rounding up like girls, and then like the leader of like the resistance girls comes in and they travel through, then play their song, and eventually the girl turns to smoke, and then there's a pentagram. Was I lying? That was the video.
Nope, exactly the video.
Okay, so
They like fight with their guitars and things.
yes. So tell me about Looks That Kill.
It was terrible. They look like every other band, like I said.
But they invented what every other band eventually looked like.
Okay.
As I said, they were kind of took a little Kiss, took a little Van Halen, took a little Satan, and made it into a band.
But okay, so who came first though?
Van Halen, Kiss came first, then Van Halen.
Okay, so they look exactly like Kiss.
Okay, well,
Oh.
they didn't go as much with the makeup as Kiss. They went
yeah,
for more.
like a little bit less.
Yes.
But
They-
if you squinted a little bit and
Yeah.
looked at this video, you'd be like, "Is this Kiss?"
Yes, they were very Kiss-like,
Yes.
but they were an LA glam version of Kiss.
Hey, let's just take a bunch of other things that people did and then make them their own.
Pretty much.
Super sweet effects on this video.
Yes, in 1983, when this video was made, absolutely it was.
Yeah, like I said, like the fighting between like their guitars and this woman and the weird like shield that she had.
Yeah.
Super sweet
And
effects.
she shot sparks from her wrist into the guy's guitar during the solo and stuff.
Yeah, and also like at the end, like I really like any of the women. Just like how are you attracted to these men?
All of these dudes got such insanely beautiful women.
It's insane too because they literally look exactly like the women. Like you sometimes in the video you're like, wait, is this a woman in the video or is this still them?
Yeah.
Is this still them?
Now,
That's how I feel about it.
I would sit there and say, I would just wonder, those women that were in the video that were part of like in the cages and stuff like that, those were like actresses in Hollywood. You had to think like, what did you do to get that part? What did you do to like get, like, you couldn't act like, oh, okay, act like it's like it's the world has ended and all this other kind of stuff. You're like, no, Motley Crue's just going to play a song and you have to like pretend like.
Try and get out of the cage.
Try to get out of the cage.
Do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's literally when I was thinking of a video that I was like, okay, Alex needs to see this so she understands that this at one time was insanely popular and also viewed as being extremely dangerous because, again, at the end, they had the pentagram, which is like, aha, hail Satan, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Oof.
That's one thing about modern bands, not big into Satan.
Sadly. Well, I mean, I don't know. I think some death metal bands would definitely
Popular.
be into Satan.
I mean,
yeah.
Like this was like on MTV like at 3
True.
in the afternoon.
Yeah.
This wasn't like an indie band. This was a huge band that like played arenas.
Yeah.
Speaking of playing in arenas.
Well, that's because they have pretty like stupid songs, but also like Satan.
Well, that's the one thing about the genius of Nikki Sixx. He really wrote the songs to be anthems in a arena.
Right.
Like everything was very easily followed, very easy chorus, very same song structure, all that kind of stuff. And he admits, like in interviews, it's like, yeah, I wrote these songs so that when we played them in big arenas, they would sound good in big arenas.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense.
Now,
I guess.
The next one, which is actually probably their most famous song,
Yeah.
it's been turned into like Carrie Underwood has covered it, and it's been on like commercials and all this other kind of stuff, and invented the power ballad, and also invented the "Life Is Hard on the Road" video.
Ugh.
Home Sweet Home.
I think that's why I couldn't watch it. Like, okay, maybe if I watched it in the 80s, like, and I was like, oh my God, this is the first video where, like, they're doing a tour video, and oh my God, I get to see these guys on tour, and how hard it is, and oh, I feel so bad for them. But the fact that I am now here, and every single artist ever has done one of these stupid videos of them being on tour and how sad and hard it is, and everyone has done a song like that, it's kind of, lost its effect on me a little bit.
Again, jaded, because again, you've seen this, but these were the first guys that did the behind the scenes and all that kind of
Sweet
stuff.
vid, bro.
Yeah.
That's just what I want to say to like every single one of these.
Now, one I would sit there and say that there's a couple scenes in Home Sweet Home that you remember when, especially as a kid. The one was where the girl is like has her hands up, like "Yay, Motley Crue," and then someone is lifting up, and so if you cut it. At that moment, like essentially, like some guy like showed her boobs to freaking Tommy Lee, and then all that kind of stuff, and then Tommy Lee like goes ooh and all this kind of stuff. When you're 8 years old, you're like boobs.
Yeah.
Now,
I didn't feel that way.
Now, in terms of the song, did you think that it was?
I hate that song.
You hate the song.
Yeah.
Repetitive, stupid,
terrible.
Terrible.
Everything about it.
Everything about it.
And it's also like it's overplayed.
It's on radio continuously to this day.
Yeah.
Now, the last video, again, the definition of no way they would allow this video in 2019.
No.
But they totally let it fly at like 12 on a Sunday, had no problems, was the title track to their album, Girls, 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 the song, of course, being Girls, Girls, Girls. Surmise what the video is about.
Literally that. Just a strip club, them having fun in a strip club, and then them riding motorcycles. That's it. And that's it.
Yeah.
Do you know the other words besides girls, girls, girls?
They talk about I would. Friday night and I need a fight.
Because I really want to know like the amount of people that actually know any of the other words besides girls, girls, girls.
Well, that's the whole point. The rest of the song is pretty much...
It doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter because in the arena, you're drunk as hell. Now, there's a video of like maybe about 5-6 years ago, one of their tours, and they play Girls, Girls, Girls. If you wanted to see, it was in Florida, you want to see, because that's important to the story, you wanted to see 40-year-old women just acting terribly, watch the video of Motley Crue in like 2010 playing Girls, Girls, Girls live and seeing all the moms in the audience just acting just insanely, taking off their clothes, kissing to their other moms. Like, they're clearly like in their 40s, but they're totally like, yeah, we're girls, 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 woo, that kind of stuff.
I just don't get it. I don't know if it's like just because I was born now. I'm not born now, but when I was
after this,
born, that I don't find any of these like hair metal like type rock bands, like I don't find anyone in them attractive. And I think it's because they're so feminine to me. And also literally look like women. Like how I don't think that I would ever like a man that looked exactly like a woman that I could be with instead. Like it's one thing if you have long hair. One thing.
Yeah. But teased long hair.
But teased long hair and dressing like a woman as well, like...
Well, that was the big deal with Girls, Girls, Girls because Guns N' Roses had just come out. And so they, if you look at Home Sweet Home, they were more in lace.
Yeah.
Then in Girls, 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 they're more in leather because they said they were reacting to Guns N' Roses. Their record company is like, hey, you can't go with the lace anymore. It's Guns N' Roses. And that's why one of the hidden kind of fuck yous to Guns N' Roses in the video is in one of Guns N' Roses' most famous songs. There's a woman having sex and she's moaning. And that was actually one of Guns N' Roses, like the drummer's girlfriend. And she was a stripper. The woman with the short brunette hair is that girl.
Oh.
So that was kind of a pseudo fuck you. That's why at one of the VMAs, one of the members of Guns N' Roses actually punched Vince Neil because for using his girlfriend in the Girls, Girls, Girls video.
Oh, she probably agreed to it.
Well, she was a stripper at a strip club, so yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but I don't think any strip club has ever been that fun. Maybe
Well,
I do need to go with Motley Crue. I'm not sure, but
I think if you were to go to a strip club with Motley Crue, it would be a little bit funner.
they really hyped it up, though.
Yeah.
You know, they really hyped up strip clubs
Yeah.
and riding motorcycles.
Yeah.
So
Or in and around Los Angeles. But the other thing, the point that gets me is the fact that, like, they're sitting there going, all we do is drive around motorcycles and, like, go to strip clubs. And I'm like, when I was 12, I'm like, yeah, that's super cool. But now I'm like, dude, if you're that rich, why are you going to strip clubs?
Yeah, like do something better with your life.
Or, like, why do you have to go to strip clubs to get women? You're Motley Crue. You're rich rock stars.
Right.
Why is it that, now granted they'd say, well, for us it's like going to the supermarket. We could just pick one kind of deal.
Ew.
Now, I would say that Motley Crue, that video did give me a bar that I wanted to reach. I eventually wanted to go backstage at a strip club like Mick Mars was playing the guitar, and I eventually did do it. So that was a life goal, and I did achieve it. So
I'm so proud of you.
congratulations.
I guess I've done that.
You've done that as well.
Yeah.
It's a bit, you'd be backstage at the strip club.
Super cool.
No, it's not.
It's not cool at all.
Yeah.
It is definitely not what it looks like in that video.
Yeah, they made strip clubs look amazing.
They really did. Honestly, if strip clubs didn't like profit from that video, I would be very upset.
Yes, made it look incredible to go to a strip club.
Yes.
But let me ask you a question. If Motley Crue called you up and said, Alex, we got a fifth motorcycle, we're hitting the strip clubs up, are you going with Motley Crue to the strip clubs?
I mean, I think so. I think it's an experience. Got to try everything once, you know? If
Yeah,
they
you know.
called me up a second time, though, I'd probably be like,
Eh.
eh. Depending on how it was, I guess.
If
But
you got to keep the Harley,
got to try everything once.
would you keep the Harley?
I would keep the Harley just to have it, like, parked in front of my house just so people know that I'm a badass.
There you
Never drive it.
There you go.
I'm
All
scared.
All good. Anyways, that was Fresh Eyes. Thank you very much, Alex.
Oh, you're welcome so much.
Alrighty, now next up is news and notes from the world of sports and weirdness and all sorts of stuff. First off, this is an interesting story, and I thought was something that I had never really thought of, is according to a new study, 40% of people claim that they masturbate at work.
They masturbate or they have at one point in their lives masturbated.
I think that they say they regularly masturbate.
Regularly.
Yeah, I don't know what regularly, I don't know if it's every day, if it's like whatever, but they claim that it's a pretty common occurrence that your coworkers are getting into the bathroom.
It seems like that's something that they could survey people about and people would say something and then that's not really real.
You're thinking that,
I think that they need to really test that.
okay, how would they test
It's
it?
like, okay, show me.
That's weird. I don't know if you'd show me, but anyways, and the thing is about it, researchers at the University of Michigan say that masturbating on a regular basis actually improves hormones, and there have been some workers that claim that it's great to be like, hey, I have this long task I need to do. At the end of it, I will reward myself with going into the bathroom and taking care of myself.
Okay, so you have to do it as a reward, not as an incentive.
Yeah, I don't know.
I need that to be clear.
As a manager, would you sit there and say, hey, here's the deal. If we get done with the job, I'll give you about a half hour, go into the bathroom, take care of yourself.
I don't think so. I don't think that I would say that to people. I guess if you want to do it,
Go ahead.
I don't know if I even want to say that. I don't know. People take a lot of poop breaks. How do I know they're not masturbating?
That's the thing. Maybe like you're sitting there going, "Oh, a bunch of people are pooping," and you sit there and you're like, "Nah, I'm actually, taking care of myself."
I want to
type
know
deal.
what the percentage is of gender, though.
They say that it's pretty equal amongst men and women.
Huh.
So there you go. Another study, because again, I'm all about science, Alex.
You really are.
A recent study from the American Psychological Association finds that manly sense alone can make women want to drink more alcohol.
Ooh.
As we have learned from years of drunken experience, people who have a tendency to lean more towards the sloppy side of inebriation often more willing to party naked because sex-based scents are a biological component of sexual behavior and alcohol is associated with sex via, at a very least, experimental and cognitive processes. It is not a stretch to post that the activation of sexual process pathways by the brain by exposing to particular scents might in turn activate alcohol associations.
All of those are a bunch of words. I had no idea what you're saying.
Essentially what they're saying is that people would assume that somehow, some way, the fact that you drink more, hence when you drink, you have sex. So essentially your brain kind of associates the scent of the opposite sex or whatever sex you want to get
like
with.
Pavlov's dog thing.
Uh-huh.
Where you associate the two things.
There you go. But the thing is, which I think is, again, I think bars know this, which is why if they want to get dudes to drink, they have the scantily clad bottle girls.
Right.
And then if they want girls to drink, they have like the dudes at the bar, like with the tight medium shirts.
What if they don't want? What if they don't smell the right way though? They'd have to be very specific about the way that they smell.
See, that's one of the things, and George Carlin brought this up. Everyone always sits there and says, "Oh, I want to get laid," so they wear cologne or they wear kind of like perfume, and they go, "Actually, if you want to get laid, smell like you smell normally. That actually helps you out more."
Maybe a little bit of deodorant.
But again,
especially if you're at a bar, I don't want you sweating all over the place, and then like
I'm not saying
that
you
smell.
sweat like you're, like you just came out of a lumber yard or something.
Yeah, no, just like normal smell.
Yeah.
Your normal smell.
Yeah.
People tell me I smell good all the time, and I don't ever I just wear deodorant.
Really?
Yeah. People tell me I smell good, and I say I don't think so. I think
one
you're lying.
One of the weirdest things that ever happened to me was I was selling a refrigerator to a daughter and mom.
Okay.
And I wear cologne because I try to, smell
impress
professionally.
The ladies.
Yeah, well, just smell good.
Sure.
And so I'm going over this, and all of a sudden I just hear, and this daughter goes, "You smell good."
Ooh.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then the mom instantaneously goes, "Oh yeah."
Well, I mean, she had to smell you. If someone says that someone smells good, you have to smell that person.
But do you have to be all like, "Oh yeah"? Couldn't you have been like, "Oh, okay, yes, you do, young man. You do smell good. Good for you and your hygiene."
I mean, I guess you could do that, but what fun is that, really?
Yeah. When you get with your daughter, are you going to like...
You wouldn't have told that story afterwards.
It was weird. I was kind of just like, for the rest of the time selling the fridge, I was like, yeah, it's got LED lights.
Yeah, but if she came with that answer, you wouldn't tell that story.
Yeah. So she's saying she wanted to make sure that I had the best story.
Yes.
Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Do you think that manly scents make you drink more?
I could see that.
Do you drink more around manly men?
Sure. I think I think I do drink more in places where there are more men.
Now you mostly drink with men because your life has been around. That might be why you are so into the alcohol, because you're mostly around dudes.
Should I change my life around?
No, not at all. I think you're enjoying
Thank
your
you.
life, so who gives a shit?
Yeah, I don't know. That might be a thing. I don't think I've ever paid attention to it, but now that I know that and I know science, I'm going to pay attention to it more and see if that's actually a real thing.
There you go. Again, science might be real or it might not be real. Another thing that is real, of course, is dad bod.
Yeah,
now,
that's super real.
There you go. Chris Pratt, who was at one time sporting the dad bod, then went into cut mode for Guardians of the Galaxy. Now they took pictures of him, recently engaged to Katherine Schwarzenegger, and was sporting the dad bod. What?
He's engaged?
Yeah, Katherine Schwarzenegger.
Chris Pratt, Jesus. Didn't him and what's-her-face just get divorced?
Yep.
Last year?
Uh-huh.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
What is he doing?
Getting with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver's daughter.
Oh, is that who that is?
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is. I
You
don't
don't
even
know
know
who
what she looks like.
She looks like Maria Shriver with a little bit of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That sounds scary to me.
She's pretty attractive.
Okay.
She got more Maria than Arnold.
Yeah, this is like, this is a pretty like, also, does he have his ears pierced?
I don't know. Anyways, here's from Chris Pratt, though. He said he is now, because he has to go on promotion for the Lego 2 movie, he says, "Hi, Chris Pratt here, day 3 of the Daniel fast. Check it out. It's a 21 days of prayer and fasting. It's going to coincide coincidentally with the Lego Movie 2 junket, so by the time you see me, I'll probably be hallucinating. Stay tuned." So just so you know, what is the Daniel fast? It's a biblical-based partial fast based on 2 accounts of the prophet Daniel fasting experiences and typical Jewish fasting principles. Now, you might sit there and say, Mike, should I be doing the Daniel fast? Not according to doctors. They say this is a terrible, terrible, terrible idea.
Is Chris Pratt Jewish?
I don't believe so. He's way into Jesus, I think. But the thing is that I guess there's Jews who love Jesus. Who knows? I don't care. Anyways, but the point being is to get away from dad bod and to get to jack bod, he's doing something that's insanely unhealthy, which no one seems to be that concerned about. Whereas if, like, again, a woman who was just, like, had a kid or something like that said, hey, I'm not going to eat for the next 3 weeks, people would be like, oh, my God, Hollywood puts such unbelievable expectations on women's bodies.
Yeah.
But here's a guy sitting there going, I'm going to do something insanely unhealthy when, let's be honest, he just looks like a normal, decent-looking dude in that other picture.
Yeah.
And now he has to get super cut. This is after, like, guy who was in Baywatch movie, not The Rock, the other dude. He used to be in like High School Musicals and stuff like that.
Zac Efron.
Yeah. He claimed to get the bod that he got in Baywatch that he legitimately for 3 months did not have a carb. He had no carbs for 3 months, and he said it was insanely unhealthy. I got really irritable. But again, nobody seems to care. Everyone's like, oh, you were jacked though, so.
Right, yeah.
It's like, again, if you want to look like the dudes in movies, you're essentially going to have to do something incredibly unhealthy.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or take some roids.
Yeah, that's Arnold. Arnold even admits back in like the 70s when he was Mr. Olympia, he's like, yeah, I did roids.
Yeah.
So that's the only
Either
reason
one.
why.
You got 2 options.
Yeah. The biggest reason I want to get with Katherine Schwarzenegger is just so I can call Arnold Schwarzenegger Dad.
Aw.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like,
That's
hey,
cute.
Hey, Dad. And be like, how you doing, Mike? Let's go watch the football game and drink some beer.
Do you think that's Chris Pratt's plan?
It should be.
Seems
It's
like
not.
it kind of is.
It should totally be his plan. Anyways, moving on. At one point, Kylie Jenner had the #1 most liked photo in the history of Instagram until some person in England decided to say, screw you, Kylie Jenner. I'm going to beat you with an egg. So as you can see, the point they even say underneath it, let's beat Kylie Jenner. Let's make this the most liked photo in the history of Instagram, and they did it with
by a lot.
By nearly 50 million likes, and it's just an egg.
Yeah, that's pretty insane.
Now,
I didn't see this.
Yeah, but now in response, Kylie Jenner went on Instagram,
posted a nude photo, and everyone liked it.
She was kind of pissed off. She took an egg and then tried to cook it on the sidewalk. Yeah, that didn't get as many likes.
No,
I don't think her nude body would get that many likes. There's too many nude bodies on Instagram. It's not that. It's not like why would I like just a nude Kardashian?
I don't know.
Here's the thing
about full nude, though.
You can't show anything on Instagram, though. So it's just got to be like a butt.
But somehow she did it.
If she called the Instagram people, I bet you she'd let them do it.
Yeah.
Here's the thing about the Jenner Kardashian conglomerate. When I was on the radio, I realized that they were just great because they great for people in a position of trying to consume media, because they planned it out that essentially one of them would do something pretty much every 2 to 3 days.
Yeah.
Like they'd release an Instagram photo like in a bikini, or somebody would release that one of their boyfriends was cheating on them, or one of them was getting and it really was just like, we legitimately on the show could have done just a Kardashian report every day. Because every day they did something.
Should we just change our show to be all about Kardashians?
We would get immense. They get 40 million likes because they get in a bikini and take a picture.
If it were me, I would have come back at this with having like a mildly nude photo with like eggs covering up the most important parts.
Just eggs on the nips.
Cooked eggs.
Cooked eggs.
Cooked eggs.
I think which would be sexier, the raw egg or the cooked egg?
I think maybe like raw cracked egg, maybe.
How about Kanye eating scrambled eggs off your butt, a la Frank Sinatra?
Okay.
Because that was what he used to do. He used to eat scrambled eggs off Rita Hayworth's butt.
Why?
Because he was Frank Sinatra and he could.
Oh, okay.
We've discussed this, that you would let men eat.
Sure, yeah.
If they're like, hey, I want to.
As long as it's not too like messy.
That's what you were. I think your point was make sure it wasn't that hot.
Yeah, not that hot and not that messy to where like.
Yeah.
I don't want it to get everywhere.
Yeah, but you're just like, if that's what you want to do.
Sure.
Yeah.
Just make me some while you're at it.
Yeah. If you ate it all and you'd be like, you ate all of the butt eggs.
Yeah, I'd be kind of upset.
Yeah.
Like if I could eat my own meal while you're doing that, that'd be great.
Would you ever want to eat a meal off a dude's butt?
No.
Again, dudes' butts are
gross.
Gross as hell.
They're really gross.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stress that enough.
Yeah.
I have yet to see a very beautiful man butt.
You gotta like. You wouldn't even like model like hairless man butt.
I don't know. I've literally never seen a good man butt. They're always gross. They're gross. They're really gross.
What are they?
I mean,
what are they again?
If you have like pants on, fine, good. You can have a good butt, but you take those pants off. Ugh.
Is it the hair?
I think it's the hair, and like a lot of times, like a lot of dudes will have like acne on their butts, and I'm just like, I can't. It's not cool.
There you go.
And I think mostly the hair.
Mostly
I don't want hair there.
There you go. Now, speaking of things that are a little gross, I don't know if you saw this. It was a big deal over the last 2 weeks. The 10-year side-by-side thing.
Yeah, I tried to find a photo of me, but it wasn't really that great.
Yeah. I essentially did it. I did the 20-year thing, and everyone's like, yeah, you look better 20 years ago.
Like shit
yeah,
now,
you look like
Mike.
shit now, you loser. Anyway, so there's a rumor out there, and I would not doubt this.
Well.
That Facebook did this to essentially test their facial recognition software, because somebody came out and said, think about it. If you're trying to come up with some sort of facial recognition software, the toughest thing to teach a computer is how the human face ages. So if you can get a database of millions of people showing you, this is me in 2009, this is me in 2019, so that you can test to see how it ages, because the whole point of facial recognition is, I take a picture of me today, but in 10 years, what do you look like? So if you could get the algorithm down, and so you essentially, I don't know if it's true, because it was on a website, they were like, ooh, this is like,
Yeah, like they could have just came up with that, but it does make a lot of sense.
It makes so much sense that the people would want to do
That's insane.
Which makes me think that every one of these stupid, like, Facebook, Twitter kind of things, like, hey, Throwback Thursday, could be, again, someone saying, hey, this is me from when I was in high school. Like, all right, now we got the database of what they look like.
So you gave into it, Mike.
I did, because it was a nice picture of me holding my little brother.
Way to go.
Yeah, big loser I am. You show pictures from, like, when you were in high school and stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes.
I know.
Don't tell people.
You put on there that's like, hey, this is me in high school.
No, I'm kidding. Now I don't want people to know because of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't want people to know that I gave in to them.
There you go. That's how just things go. Speaking of someone that gave in to something, Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
He's back.
He is back.
He was on Saturday Night Live. He actually was funny.
Doesn't he have a new show with what's-his-face, John Mulaney?
I don't know if there's a new show as much as they're on tour together.
Right.
Which should be a good show.
I can't imagine them together, but I think that's cute. I think it's adorable, really.
Well, like Pete Davidson did the joke where he sat there and goes, yeah, I've been hanging out with John Mulaney, and I don't know if you know this, but I spent a month with him, and then I threatened suicide. So I thought it was a funny
really
joke,
nice.
And everybody was like, woo, whatever. Anyway, so one of the things that Ariana Grande has been kind of saying is that he's packing heat in his pants.
Packing heat. I can completely believe it.
Yeah, but and the whole big dick energy type deal. They say Pete Davidson was kind of the poster child for that kind of confidence that comes with the fact that he's got a big tool. But Pete Davidson has come out and said that Ariana Grande has absolutely done him a disservice because he sits there and goes, I don't have that big of a piece down there. And now every woman that I ever am with thinks, because he blames the fact that she's like such a tiny woman that like any normal sized genitals makes it feel like it's the biggest thing in the world. Also makes it maybe like Mac Miller wasn't exactly packing.
I feel so bad for him. I mean, that's a weird thing to feel bad for him about, but I do feel bad. But it does not matter, though. He's still going to get girls.
Yeah, he's not going to get madder, but like, okay, if you were like, oh my God, I'm going to get with this guy. Like a bunch of your girlfriends were like, dude, you seen Jim? Jim is packing heat. And you're like, all right, I'm getting with Jim. Jim's packing heat. You unwrap that present, and all of a sudden it's just a normal penis. You're just like,
that's why I don't think that you should discuss penis sizes with other women that are going to sleep with the same man. I don't think that should be a thing because, like you said, it is all relative.
How often
it's relative to like what you know. What if you've only seen the smallest penises in the world, and then you see like a mildly like it could still be small, but like maybe bigger than the ones you've seen, and you're like, oh my God, this is crazy.
My thing is, what if he's a grower, not a shower? Not if it's like in normal, it's just like okay, but then like when it's ready to rock, he's ready to rock. He's ready to rock. So there's so many different things that we could say that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's really going to affect his life that much.
Yeah, it won't affect him. That's one of the reasons why, like in comedy, I always make the joke where like someone will sit there and introduce me as like, this next guy is the funniest guy in the history of the world. You will never laugh more than this man will make you laugh. And I'm just like,
why? Why did you do that?
Thank you for making that sky high. One time, again, bringing up Louis C.K., he told a story. He was opening up for Jerry Seinfeld. And this is when he was like really young, like he was 19, 20 years old, and it was in Boston. And he goes, coming up next, this guy is the best comedian in the country.
Whoa.
Give it up for Jerry Seinfeld. Jerry Seinfeld does his entire hour-and-a-half act. As soon as he comes off stage, he shakes his hand. He goes, don't you ever say that about me ever again. Which is weird because that means Jerry Seinfeld was thinking about it the whole hour and a half.
Yeah.
And it was a mental thing. And as soon as he saw him, he goes, don't you ever tell. Like if a person came up to me like, Alex Clem, this is the most beautiful woman in the hit. Just let him decide what I look like from me. Don't do that from there.
I think the lesson to be learned here is that if you have a small penis, maybe find all of the women that have only had sex with very small penises. They have to exist.
How would you find that, though?
I do a survey. Go to a college where they do pointless surveys.
Get one of those colleges to do pointless surveys for you.
Yeah.
Find a strategic area where small penises live, and then maybe go there with your average penis, and then you become like a porno star to those people.
Exactly.
Boom. Or find a woman that maybe at one time had sex with a giant penis, and she was like,
too much. God.
I couldn't walk for 2 days.
Find a woman that has had sex with Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
And then
but
show her your penis.
Pete, here's my prediction. Pete's doing fine. He just doesn't have, like, he thinks, like, again, you watch porno, you're thinking giant dick is, like, freaking 14 inches long. And he's just, like, decent sized.
Also, he's probably, like, wouldn't you want to be, like, if you wanted to be kind of like modest and you didn't want to like be like, oh yeah, I have a huge dick. If you don't want to seem like one of those type of bros, I'd be like,
anyone who does say that they have a huge dick is a huge dick.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So he doesn't want to be one of those people. Yeah. So he might actually have a huge dick, and he's just trying to be modest.
And also just keeping it down to where it's like, yeah, I've got average. And then when it's revealed, she's like, oh no,
damn,
this is some big time, what is it, grabbing snakes?
Bagging snakes. I mean that's when you like go and pick up dudes.
Yeah, you're
so
bagging.
I bagged a good snake.
Bagging a good snake.
Yeah.
You thought you were with a python. Turns out you were with what's the smallest snake?
I don't know snake sizes.
Garden.
Garden snake.
Is that a gardener snake or a gardener?
I think both. I don't know. But I think that Pete Davidson, I think that he'd be a good snake to bag.
There you go. Anyway, speaking of snakes and other things that are not should not be consumed alive.
What?
You'll hear it. 40 years ago today, Ozzy Osbourne did something in one of the weirdest stories in the history of rock and roll. So again, back in the day, everyone worshipped Satan. So he had all of these kind of
Back in the day,
everyone loved Satan in the music business. Anyway, so essentially he's on stage and he had a bunch of props and pentagrams and, people like that. And so part of the lore is that at one point, and this is a true story, when they were introducing him to his record company, when he had left Black Sabbath and now he was a solo artist, people thought he was a big fat loser. And so his wife sat there and said, we got to really make a show to get all of the people behind you.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to release doves when they play the song in the conference room. Now, I would say, Sharon, that's a dumb shit idea, but Ozzy was drunk at the time, so he's like, sure, whatever. So as soon as they started playing Crazy Train, they released the doves. A dove fell onto Ozzy's lap, and Ozzy took it and bit its head off.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, again, Ozzy Osbourne is a weird dude. Anyway, so this made all of this news, and everyone's like, oh, my God, he bit the head off a pigeon. He's crazy.
How do you even do that?
Because you're Ozzy Osbourne and you're weird.
Like, that seems like it would take some strength.
Well, apparently it doesn't.
Ugh.
Yeah, anyways, so when they did the stage show, they were like, hey, we'll play off that. Let's have you bite the head off other things. And so it's like, and blood came out like in Kiss and all that kind of stuff. So somehow, some way, someone threw a bat on stage.
Real bad.
Real bat.
Got it.
Ozzy thought it was fake because, hey, it's showbiz. Everything's fake in showbiz. So he took the bat and he bit the head off the bat. And all of a sudden, everyone off to the stage was like, you dumbass, you just bit the head off a real bat. So they had to end the show and give him like 1,000 rabies shots and all that other kind of stuff. Anyways, so this is the anniversary of that. So on his website, he has a plush toy where it's a bat with Ozzy Osbourne on it and the head is detached. It's $40.
To be honest, I didn't know that bats had rabies.
I don't know. It's a lot. You can't bite the head off anything and not someone think that you gotta.
But so the doves and stuff were fine.
I think he had to get shots then too.
That when he's biting these heads off, is he keeping the head in his mouth? Like, how is he biting this off?
Bit the head off
like,
and then
spit it out. I would probably immediately puke everywhere.
He was drunk and high and all that other kind of
Even more reason for me to puke everywhere.
Yes. You've never thought of biting the head off a live bat.
No, I've never thought about biting the head off of anything.
See, this is what music was back in 1981.
It also seems so difficult. Like, what kind of teeth do you have in order to bite the head off of a bat?
I don't know, but apparently he had cocaine-fueled power teeth.
Definitely, you need cocaine for that.
Yes.
That is, I think, the only way that you can do that. Cocaine or some other kind of crazy drug where you're, like, insane.
Okay.
Like that one where people go crazy.
All right, so speaking of Ozzy Osbourne and Motley Crue, and this will probably be in the Dirt movie. It was in the Dirt book.
Okay.
They went on tour together back in 1983, 1984.
Yeah.
And they were just being crazy with each other. Like one story was Tommy Lee took him to his into his hotel room when Ozzy was drunk, and they were hanging out and they were doing coke and whatever.
Oh, you told this story, yeah.
And he smeared the poop all over the walls.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then the other story, did I tell you the piss story?
I don't think so.
Okay. So they show up to this Florida resort where they're going to stay. And they've been on a huge coke bender in the tour bus. So they get over there and basically they challenge Ozzy, hey, Ozzy, see that line of ants? Snort that line of ants.
Nope.
And Ozzy, again, being a weirdo, goes and snorts a line of ants. So then that was the end of the story until they actually told the real story. Like, okay, so he did that. So one of the guys from Motley Crue, Nikki Sixx, goes, you think that's weird? I'm going to pee on the ground and I'm going to lick up the piss. And so Tommy Lee whips out his penis again at a golf resort in Florida, and pees on the sidewalk. And while he's waiting to get down, Ozzy goes, "Screw you! I'm gonna outdo you. I'm Ozzy Osbourne. I bought the heads off bats." Starts licking up the pee.
I thought he would have snorted it.
Yeah, on the ground like he was a cat.
My favorite part about that story was that you actually motioned of how people take their penises out of their pants and pee, because I had no idea.
Well, I had to. You tell a story.
Right,
That's
yeah.
the key to good storytelling.
Got it.
That's one of the things about me. They always sit there and say, "Mike, you tell such good stories because, like, you act out the story. You act out what it looks like to zip over your pants."
I don't know. You didn't lick any pee off of anything. You didn't like.
You're right. I wasn't as committed as I should have been.
Yeah, you really weren't.
Anyways, that was news and notes.
Yeah, that was news and notes.
There you go. Now our final segment is again, comment your ass off. Play the song.
Hello to the world. Say hello to the villain that's been you out.
Now, how many? We'll play a couple of the comments that we have there. So, what happened and all that kind of good stuff.
Guess who commented this week?
Sam.
No.
There you go. What did Sam want?
Who are the guest stars? We don't have any guests this week. I'm so sorry. We just wanted to let you know that we're back and we're still great. And yep. Should replay be expanded to include commercials? No.
Like replay commercials?
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Yeah, I think replay should be expanded to do like other penalties. I think referees should be eliminated and everything should just be done by cyborgs.
That's intense.
Yeah.
I like people.
No.
I like their names are like all the same thing.
Cyborgs. That's the future. Cyborgs.
They're all named like Lewis or something like that. All the refs.
They all own like toiletry companies.
Yeah, I love the refs. I really do.
You love refs?
Yeah.
One of my buddies who I played college football with is now currently a college ref moving up the road.
Oh, girl.
There you go.
I like this idea. Can you run delays and closings across the bottom of the screen? I think we should do that, Mike. I think that we should do that for a bunch of fake things.
If we had any knowledge of any closings, what was the school right in front of Baldwin when schools closed? Because always the famous in our household, we were at Fox Chapel, so the big one was Fort Cherry. Like we would see Fort Cherry closed, and we'd be like, okay, this is the next one. And if we didn't see Fox Chapel after Fort Cherry, that meant we were going to school.
I don't have that good a memory, Mike, and it was probably an A school, which I don't know any of them.
You think you're the first BA? I think you'd be the first B school. Baldwin, is there a BR? Is there BAR? BA? I don't know.
BR wouldn't come before BA.
So you'd be not Avonworth?
Maybe. Avonworth seems like a good contender.
Yeah.
I keep getting WPXI alerts on my phone for Riverview School.
That's in Oakmont.
Oh, okay, because I had no idea where that was, and they keep telling me when they're closed and they have delays. I'm like, I don't fucking care about this school.
How did you get Riverview?
I have no idea.
You've never even been to, like...
I don't know.
Oakmont. I mean,
I've been there once.
Okay. It's a nice place.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm
They should
pretty
actually
sure I was there with you.
What?
I was there with you.
In Oakmont?
Yeah. Right?
No.
Didn't we go to like a theater there?
Yeah, we went. Oh, yeah, we went to go
Boom.
see
Yep.
the
I was like, what's in Oakmont besides the
Oaks.
Oakmont Bakery?
the Oaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw the
Oaks.
guy for the we saw
Magic.
The Magic.
Magic.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. Anyway, so I would say we should if we had any.
I really think that'd be fun.
Yeah.
We'll make a bunch of up before the show.
I'll
figure out how
Here.
to put them on the bottom of the screen.
Type in right now. Everyone's work tomorrow canceled.
Oh man, I wish I don't have work tomorrow, so
Aha! Win for
mine is canceled.
for big A.
That's all I was honestly really hoping for this weekend. Like, can it please snow enough to where I can actually close the store down for a little while? We don't close the store pretty much ever, like for any reason.
How much business did you get during the snowstorm on Sunday?
Not very much, but it wasn't terrible. Like, it wasn't one of our worst days. There was actually like a surprising amount of people that came in, so it wasn't one of our worst Sundays. It was actually pretty typical.
Every week I read about new apartments being built downtown.
Yeah, but no grocery stores being built downtown.
You don't need a grocery
You do, though.
No, you don't.
You really do.
You got the strip district with the best fruit in the world.
No,
Yes.
You need a grocery store.
You got one on the north side.
No.
What, you need to like walk 2 steps and have like a giant eagle there?
Yeah. Not even a giant eagle, just something like close even, you know? Like a nice little thing, market thing. I don't know.
Maybe
That's why I don't want to live downtown.
There you go. We'll do a market thing. There you go. Anybody else?
Sam also said, should coaches be allowed to throw a challenge flag anytime after a questionable play, not necessarily immediately afterwards?
I would
yes.
Say, here's what I would say.
I say yes.
I say eliminate the whole challenge thing. Just do it like it is in college, where if it's questionable, then you're not worried about, ooh, should I challenge it? If it's questionable, they go up top, they say, let's look at it. But here's my rule. You got 30 seconds. If you can't notice it in 30 seconds, then just stick with the call on the field.
I think that's a good rule, but I also think that if a coach challenges a play, that they have to fight the other coach, and then they see who wins that, and then that's how they decide.
See, here's my thing. There is no thing in the world more popular than challenges.
Yeah.
Like, when you go to a Steeler game, not anymore since everyone hates Tomlin when he challenges because he keeps sucking at it. But like when something happens and they throw that red flag, I think I had a comedy bit once where it just was kind of lame, whatever. But I sat there and be like, we would love challenges in general. Like the cop just sits there and be like, nope, you were speeding. You throw a challenge flag. Like, nope, check the video, scumbag.
Yeah. But how much better would it be like the stadium just like erupts because both the coaches have to get in the middle of the field and like fight to the death.
I don't want to see Mike Tomlin fighting just random people.
I do. I think that might make football
I would
more
say have one of the
me.
Players do it. Like have a strategic player. Like a goon like in hockey.
Boo. That's boring. But you could see them, like you literally see them tackle people and shit all the time. You don't see the coaches do anything.
Why do I want to see some old dude freaking fight somebody?
I really feel like that would be a lot of fun.
I don't know.
I think that is the way to win.
I don't know. I agree you should have jack coaches, but maybe, I don't know. Who knows? Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Alex, again, thank you very much
being you're welcome.
The greatest internet radio producer. Again, my name is Mike Sasson. Keep listening to The River's Edge. Right after this, Grown Dad Business, Jason Clark, with, by the way, birthday today.
Whose?
Jason's.
Happy birthday, Jason.
There you go. Jason and Aaron Kleiber, the great Aaron Kleiber. Their show is right after this. They continue to listen to The River's Edge at www.riversedgepgh.com. And again, catch up on all the Mike Sasson shows. Catch up on all the Grown Dad Business, the Jagoffs, everything like that on The River's Edge. Check it out on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Google Play. Remember to like our Facebook page. We're getting close to almost 500 likes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we're so popular. Anyways, it's the Mike Sasson Show. We'll see you next week. Bye.